Morning. Give me 1 second. Let me grab this link and then share it on Discord and we'll get ready to go. Okay. Cool. Announcement made. Y'all let me know if I sound okay. If you can hear me. And if the volume of the music is alright. Fandom. How's it going? How am I today? I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for confirming. Spider, hello. I scheduled the stream for 9:30, thinking that I needed a little extra time to get ready, but I'm actually on time. So I started it up. Fox, how's it going? I'm doing well, thank you. Okay. So there's last stream I was talking about the fingers here and the orientation that they have. And I was unfortunately or fortunately correct in that these are wrong. So I got my finger position and placement wrong. So I need to fix that. So that's probably one of the first things that I'm going to be doing today. We'll just fix that really quick and then get a move on. I need to delete some stuff and rework some of this area. So hopefully I won't be too painful. But we'll see. Mecca, hi, how's it going? True Irish. I do wish the stress test had less ping so I could learn more about the general combat. Yeah, is it high ping for you? I haven't played, so maybe maybe it's the region and the server that you're connecting to. Because Islander said that he had some high ping on his game because of where he had to connect. So hopefully that does get resolved, right? Given time, I think they will figure that out. How would this have worked? This is an inset. When will Peru be out? I'm not sure. They have to animate everything still, so it'll be a while. Excuse me. Sharky modeling at last? Yeah. We are finally modeling. We pop out chat and put it over here. It's so smooth. Yeah, it'll look that way for a while. What happened to my glasses? I had my LASIK eye surgery last Friday, so I no longer need glasses. I'm gonna kind of redo this whole area just because I think it'll be simpler just to visualize this from scratch. I can always put that membrane back in super easy. Okay. So, what I have to do is this area here. I had an idea, and now looking at this, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we'll try. Pop this out. Onyx, hi, how's it going? Hey, Tazy. Pizza, how's it going? Dinosaur. Yeah, welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, Sharky, it's been interesting experience. I'm still kind of getting used to everything, so. But it's overall really, really, really good. So I'm going to use this little area here to extrude the new fingers from. But I need a little bit of additional resolution. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room here. Unsol, Unsol, sorry if I'm messing up your name. Thank you for listening. I left a comment asking for pterosaurs. Tropia was in it. Nice. I'm glad we got you your pterosaur. So now I'm going to extrude here, I believe. Widen this out. Actually, I'm going to inset and pull this here. And then this area that I'm highlighting will become a finger. And these two side areas will become a finger. Pizza, thanks so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. It ain't much, but take my money. Thank you so much. Pizza, it's going drowsingly. Oh, you're still drowsy. Yeah, I'm kinda... I didn't really sleep very well. Our little doggo. He's an older little guy, and he's been having some issues. He's very restless at night. And he kind of doesn't know where he is, so we have to help him a lot. So he was a little extra restless last night, so a little tired this morning. I'm a little tired, but we'll get through it. Check Canada, how's it going? Gizmosaurus, thank you so much. Kestrel, okay, no problem. I'll try to remember. I do my best to remember people's names, but if your screen name is different than your normal name, you know, then it's kind of hard. But I'll do my best. So the big change is that the orientation of the fingers is different, right? Like before they were oriented like flat, like palms down. Now they're palms forward. So that's more anatomically correct. I consulted with a paleontology friend of mine. That's super reliable and really informed. And he told me to do it this way. So that's what I'm doing. Kestrel, I think we do have we don't have a Quetzalcoatlus, but I think we do have a big Asdarkid. Pizza. Yeah. My dog is he's super tiny. So our bed is actually too high for him to jump up. He used to be able to jump up, but as he's gotten a little older, it's harder. So I have to kind of escort him down and up whenever he wants to. I don't want him to fall. That's the thing, is it kind of worries me that he's going to fall off. And we would just let him like have like a little bed, you know, next to our bed. But he really does not like sleeping alone. So he'll just whine and wait for me to pick him up anyway, so Kestrel, I think that would be a question for Furious. I do the models and stuff, but I don't really work on systems. He is, Furious is the one who would know more about how all that stuff works. It's so nice to be able to go into a sculpt mode and then just like push around some of this stuff. I really like that about Blender. I think I need to add, I'm going to add another loop here. So that way the fingers have the similar amount of resolution between them. I think that actually worked out really well. Looks pretty clean, which is nice. And then we can still get our membrane here back. The one thing though, I'm wondering if I should extend my wing membrane to the neck as well. Let me see. Because I've seen other artists do like a membrane here that bridges this area from like the neck to the shoulder. But I don't know. I don't know if I should do that or not. I've never done that before on a pterosaur. Have you thought about buying him a little pair of dog stairs for him? A friend of mine bought some for their dog, and they're pretty good. I've used a chair before, pretty sturdy. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think we have like a little ramp outside that goes from our door to the ground, right? So he can like walk up and down. But yeah, one for our bed might be a good idea too. Empire British. Our game has arrived in Brazil. You mean like you're able to play it from Brazil? Sharky, yeah, I've really been enjoying. Now that I'm more familiar with the sculpting tools, I'm not like a master of it or whatever. I still find it a little awkward to do sculpting in Blender, but now that I know my way around just a little bit more, it really helps in situations like this because I can really refine what I want in here a little bit faster. So it's been really nice. Full-time switch to Blender when? You know, I don't know. I can definitely see Blender taking up like maybe half to maybe 75% of my workflow. But I still think high poly stuff, like super high poly detail stuff, I need to do in ZBrush. Because I don't know. What do you think, Sharky? Because like my sculpts tend to get pretty big. I would say like they go to like 60 million polys or something like that. Can Blender deal with that? Maybe it's getting there. I mean, for rendering, for sure, Blender's the key. Texturing, I'm not sure. I really like Substance Painter, so I'm gonna stick with Substance for texturing for now. But like the other stuff, I mean, animation, rigging, retopology, UVs, all that stuff is Blender's great. You got to 100 million in your last model. Okay, that's good news. Okay, well maybe I should try. I have to do that on my own time though. If I try it on stream, I'm just gonna be too. I have to get good with it, and then I can stream. Okay, so I got those fingers in there. They're not the right, let me see. They're not the right length, I would imagine. They're in the wrong place. Great. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cheat this. Because I'm not doing that over again. We're gonna take all of this. We're gonna move it over here. Like that. And this becomes this area. Delete these edges. Or dissolve them, I mean. There we go. And it's like it never happened. So on these fingers, they can be a little bit bigger. So we'll scale them up a little bit. But the finger that's on the top is the smallest one. Finger that's on the bottom is the longest. So we have to make sure that that is actually what's happening here. So this will be short. This will be like medium length. And then this will be the longest one. I'll have to refine that. But that's basically what I'm looking for. We'll save this so I don't have to do all of that again. I mean, Sharky, if you're able to get it to 100 million in Blender, did you feel like you still didn't have enough resolution to get a lot of micro detail? Because I think technically your mesh would have been much higher than any of the meshes I normally use. Like on average, I'd say mine good around 60 million, and I'm normally able to to pump a lot of detail into that. So maybe Blender is capable of that. I'm not sure. I'm going to add another support ring here. Kivarsha, how are you? It's going pretty well. Yeah, ZBrush has a... Oh, for baking. Did it not... Blender didn't want to decimate it? Yeah, okay. I get you. ZBrush has, I think by default, you can change it. It has a 100 million poly limit. I've never tried to exceed it though. Maybe I should try just to see. Evan, will people be able to make mods for this game? I think that is the plan. I think they don't plan on restricting people in that sense. So I think that's reasonable to expect. No, Kivarsha, congratulations. You got to learn how to use Blender. I hope you have some time before your job starts. Seems like a lot of places are moving towards Blender anyway. So it's probably a good idea to learn it regardless, right? So but congratulations on your new job. That's great. Okay. So we took care of the fingers. That's good. Sharky, have you tried Cascador for animation? I was thinking of experimenting with it a bit since they've added quadruped rigging support. You know, I haven't. I think that's the first time I've heard about this. I think you're probably more advanced in an animator than I am, Sharky. I don't know much about animation. I know how to rig basic stuff. I would really like to learn. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to get into that too much. Oh, they mentioned they use Blender now and have plans to turn to Maya. Huh, okay. I wonder why. Oh, it's voluntary with the promise of payment, but at least it's this. They put me on board, but more like an intern. Oh, okay. I would say, I mean, I've done stuff like that too. I would just say be careful. Don't let them push you around or treat you like a workhorse. Tifa. But, I mean, if it's a good team, it's a good team, so use your best judgment. Did you already make a high poly model? No, I did a concept, a very detailed concept, right? So this is my concept art that I made. And then I'm doing a base mesh from that. Tifa, no. She's laying down. She's all covered in a blanket with her head poking out. And she's barking at me. Cool, Kivarsha. That's awesome for you. No, girl. No. I don't know what your deal is. I think she just wants to play, but you can hear, I don't know if you can hear squeaking her little toy back there. Okay, so got the fingers and arms. I'm kind of procrastinating here because I don't. Yeah, I'm avoiding these feet. I have 4 toes that I gotta make. Being very distracted, little girl. She only does this when I'm on stream, by the way. She never does this when I'm just working, like normal. I don't know what her deal is. Maybe she wants to. Maybe she knows that I'm streaming and she wants to get on camera. I'm going to do one more quick loop here. These are going to get extruded. Actually, do it like this. We're going to have webbing between these toes too. So I got to be mindful of that. No, she doesn't want me to sculpt right now. Um, Alex, how long have you been into 3D stuff? I've been in Blender 3 to 4 years now, and I still can't model / sculpt anything. I've been sculpting for a very long time. I started traditionally, like doing just like projects in high school and stuff. Like, in art class, they had like normal clay, right? Like stuff that you would make pottery out of. But I would make like monster masks and like dragons and stuff that I wasn't supposed to make out of that stuff. So I kind of got into it there, but it wasn't until I got into college. I had this class called Illustration Media. And the class was basically like showing illustration majors like all the different media that they could potentially use to make illustrations with. There are 3D illustrators out there. It's kind of a small section of illustration, but there are people who do that. But for that section of the course, we were supposed to make a 3D model. So we had to make the armature. We had to make we had to build it all out in clay and stuff. And it was polymer clay is what we were using, like Sculpey and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that process. Really got into like Stan Winston, maquettes for movies and stuff like that. And all the stuff that goes into planning and making those types of models. But as far as like digital stuff, it wasn't until my senior year in college that I really started to get into that, because I wanted to learn how to 3D print. So I got ZBrush, and I was in a really big rush. I had to learn ZBrush really fast, so I could make my deadline for my grad show. And I sculpted a crazy looking T-Rex. But it's been like over 10 years now, almost 15 years that I've been working in 3D like this. So it's been a while. I started working in ZBrush when they first introduced Dynamesh. So that was the first version of ZBrush I used. Which is actually very fortunate, because if I didn't have Dynamesh, I really don't think I would have liked ZBrush as much as I actually did. Because Dynamesh feels like as close to like real clay as you can get digitally, I feel like. Because you're just adding pieces of clay onto a surface and then you blend it together. It feels a lot like that. Alex, yeah, I mean, if you don't have a college or a school close to you, I mean, just YouTube, man. Like, just watch a bunch of tutorials that you on the specific topics that you want to get better at. There's also like you don't have to go to like a physical school. You can go to like there should be several like online academies that you can get involved with that are actually much more affordable, because art school is super expensive. I actually, if I were able to talk to myself in the past, I probably would tell him, don't worry about going to art school. But I mean, it's up, of course it's up to every individual to decide what's best for them. But I personally, nothing I learned that I use now, right? Like, I'm a digital artist. I know I use Photoshop, I use Clip Studio Paint, Substance Painter, ZBrush, Blender, all of that stuff that I just listed, I didn't learn in college. They didn't teach me that stuff. I learned that either on my own, through trial and error, or through watching tutorials on YouTube. And this was 10 years ago, keep in mind. So like YouTube 10 years ago was a lot different than YouTube now. Especially when you're looking at art and design tutorials. Like, you can pretty much find anything you want now on YouTube. Before, there were only like a few sources that talked about art and design and like concept art and all this game development stuff. But now it's all over the place, I feel like. So try looking at those. I would say Gumroad. You can find stuff on Gumroad. Blender Marketplace has a bunch of tutorials. Wingfox. I would say CG Society or CG. What is it called? CGMA, but I think they recently like broke apart or something. CGMA used to be a good one. Do you think Tropeognathus will be faster to model than Peru? Probably. Well, he's faster in some ways and not faster in others. Like, he'll probably be faster to sculpt, like all the detailed stuff. But then we have to deal with all the fur. And that's going to be probably the biggest challenge of this guy, is the fur. The feather fuzz that he has. Because we want it to look very naturalistic. And I have ideas on how to do that, but they're not... we would have to test some stuff. So... that's going to be the challenge here. Not necessarily the sculpting part of it. Alex, you're lucky you're smart. I'm dumb. No, I don't say that. Just give yourself some time. Everybody has their own pace that they learn, and important thing is just keep trying, don't give up, be patient with yourself, ask for help. Just be really open to learn and absorb, and you'll get where you need to get. the thing about art and design stuff is it's just I personally believe that anyone can really learn how to do it. It's just a matter of like how much you practice and how much you like devote to it, you know? I don't think you have to be like some sort of prodigy or anything to be good at art. You just gotta do the repetition, you know? I have a burnout from Blender right now. I hate burnouts. How do you keep working without getting burnouts? How do I keep working without getting burnouts? That is a good question. Well, sorry, I'm like trying to figure out how many loops I have in here and how many I need. I'm like counting at the same time that I'm trying to think about this question. How do I keep from getting burnouts? Just try to personally, I just try to find something interesting in the stuff that I'm working on. So like inevitably when you do this for a long time, not everything is going to be interesting to you. Like sometimes you have to work on stuff that is not necessarily like your cup of tea, right? Especially if you're a professional artist. Sometimes you might have to paint something that's like, you don't really like it, but you have to do it because it's part of the job, and you know your team's relying on you to do it. But there's usually something inside of that you can like attach yourself to and like start to become excited about or interested in. So I try to find things like that help kind of get through that hump of like disinterest or even maybe potentially burnout. If you're just working on your own personal stuff, try not to overwhelm yourself. Like don't set yourself up for like smaller wins, you know? I think a lot of times when people are first starting out, they have this like, they'll like decide on a project, right? And they'll be like, well, I want to make this character that I designed. And the character has like, first of all, it's like human anatomy. It's like clothing. They have like a sword, and so now you got to figure out how to do prop design, and like they got belts and stuff on them, and like armor. Yeah, it's like a huge ask, you know? So a lot of times, like, they'll start out with something like that and then have this expectation to finish, and it's just so much to learn to get that done. What I would suggest is find something cool but simple that you like. Like maybe it's I don't know, like maybe you are thinking about doing a character, but maybe he has like a really cool staff that he carries or something. This is just hypotheticals, right? But you know, maybe try to figure out how to sculpt that first. You know, try to isolate the small parts and then build up more complex things on top of it. That way you're not like bogged down by this huge project that seemingly has no end in sight, you know? Take things in small little bite-sized pieces, and then eventually you'll get through the whole thing, you know? But yeah, if you start concentrating on the broader picture and just always try to keep that in mind, I think it can become overwhelming. Like even with me, like even this, right? Like I love dinosaurs. I love everything dinosaur, right? But like if I thought about every single little step that I have to do to get this Tropeognathus done, I would feel exhausted, I think. Because think about how much has to go into it. There's so many steps that I've already done, and there's so many steps that I still have to do. But I'm not focused on all of the steps, right? Like every single step. I'm just focused on, you know, today, right? Like today, I just wanted to fix the fingers, and then after the fingers, what's next? Well, I gotta do the toes. So we did the toes. So what's next after that? Well, I gotta merge the wing to the body. So take it little by little. Because a lot of what burnout is like brain, like mind games. It's like your mind exhausting itself. Just over processing, I think. That's my opinion on it. So that would be my advice. Find stuff that you're really interested in and just take it bit by bit. Maybe like, since you like dinosaurs so much, maybe just instead of doing like a whole dinosaur, maybe do like the head, a skull, you know, or maybe model a claw and get that to look as like super realistic and nice. Or maybe just the head of a dinosaur you like. And then just kind of build up. I hope that helps. That is a very tough question. And it's different for everybody. Like the way I handle burnout and like the way I handle my projects is much different from the way you'll probably end up handling them in the future. It takes a while to like understand how you process things and like how you divide things up or subdivide stuff into time and like tasks and all that stuff. But like I said, you'll you'll get there as long as you keep asking yourself those questions, like, you know, is this working? Is this you know, is this process working for me? And what can I do to make it work better? I think if you keep asking yourself that and you keep trying to work through it, you'll arrive in a good spot. Because there's a ton of processes that I've learned that other artists, like other professional artists, have taught me, or I've learned from them, just like watching tutorials or actually like talking to them or taking their classes and stuff. There's a ton of processes that I have learned, and I try them, and sometimes they don't work for me. Like a good example is if you look up concept art, and like usually it's like character design or creature design. A lot of professionals will be like, oh, well, you need to start with a silhouette. And they have like pages and pages of these silhouette drawings of like characters and creatures or whatever it may be. I tried doing that. Like, I tried my hardest to do that, and I just don't like it. I don't think that way. I don't think in silhouette. Like, I understand that the silhouette is very important, and I do keep that in mind when I'm doing designs. But like just designing in a black and, you know, just like a black blob of, you know, shapes. I've tried my hardest to do it, and it just doesn't feel good. Like, I want to design from the inside out. I don't want to design from like a shadow shape and then figure out what's inside like later, you know? And for the longest time I felt like I was like, well, everybody else does it this way, right? So that's what professionals do. If I can't do this, then I'm not a professional kind of mentality. But I mean, it just doesn't work for me, so I don't do it. Like, I've given it a try, right? I've given it my best shot, but ultimately I feel like other ways of designing suit me better, so I just do those instead. But that took like a while to learn about myself, I guess. And it's always changing all the time. Okay, so I'm prepping this wing. For I need to attach it to the body, right? But I want to make sure that everything is placed where it should be. I'm going to give the wing some thickness. So I'm going to add a, what is it? Solidify. Give it some thickness. And then if that looks good, I will apply it yeah, we'll apply it. So now I have this bit fully, it's got a height to it. But I don't need the inside faces. So all of these things can go. Those are going to get deleted. So that looks good to me. We'll work on this separately, this part here. So that looks good to me. And then we go to this, actually I'm going to separate this part because I don't want to deal with that right now. We'll do that separately. Which base am I working on? This one. But now I gotta prep this part. So the wing is going to go here. So we gotta delete these surfaces too. Like this. Delete the faces. So now we should be good to go. So I can get this membrane, join. Then we're going to go in and stitch everything together. So we just pick these two, we merge. I want to do it at the center. So it kind of averages out. These are kind of far. I think I have an extra one. This is extra. So I don't need that. So we're gonna go around the whole wing and do this just to attach everything together. And we'll add loops where we need them. And then if we don't need certain loops, then we won't add them. I need a loop here. Okay. That goes there. This needs a loop. So that way we can attach this part. This goes here. Then we actually need a loop going down the center here. It's a little misaligned, but we'll fix it. The Miro, hi, how's it going? Have I played Rain World? I have not, but I have seen like videos on it about like how the AI and stuff, like the behavior was of like the enemies and stuff was made, and I think it's really cool. I have not played it though. Have you played a lot of it? Would you recommend? The Miro. Good, still trying to figure out how Blender works. Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, me too. In some ways. There's so much to learn. How is sorry, Brittany, are you talking about the Puru? I'm assuming that you're talking about the Puru. How is Puru doing? Puru is being animated, I think. Or it will be animated soon. Sharky, it's cool. It's quite difficult to beat, but it's fun. It's a side scroller, right? Like, am I thinking about the right one? Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, I've been interested in that one. I've also been interested in Hollow Knight, and then the sequel to Hollow Knight. I think it looks really cool. I kind of like those types of games. I mean, I'm a huge Soulsborne fan, so I don't mind like difficulty. I mean, I definitely, you know, there are times when I want to throw my controller across the room, but that kind of comes with the territory with those games. I've also wanted to play... There's a lot of games that I really want to get to. I want to play Hades, and I think it's called Hades. and the sequel. What other one? I've been really interested in roguelite games. I think they're doing some really cool stuff with those mechanics. I think what got me more interested in it is actually Night Rain. Although the roguelite elements in there are not like maybe I don't know if you would consider Night Rain a roguelite. But I think that's what triggered my interest, and I'd really like to get into some of those, see how they work. Brittany, yeah, the Peru, yeah, it's moving into animation now, so it's out of my hands and into the animators. So I haven't seen any animations done yet, but I'm assuming we'll have some soon. Will we take as long as the Isle to update? I don't think so. I'm not really familiar with how long that is. I haven't played the Isle in a long time. Hollow Knight looks fun. Haven't played it yet. Yeah, that one looks really fun. Pizza. Hades is really fun. Have you seen Neo 3 coming out? I love Soulsborne. 100% all of Miyazaki's games since Demon's Souls. So I'll be keeping track for more. Mortal Shell is also really good. I saw Mortal Shell, yeah. I have not seen Neo 3. I haven't played any of the Neo games. Mortal Shell looks really interesting. I really like the design work in Mortal Shell. The armor looks so cool. I think whoever is designing the armor sets for Mortal Shell is like a genius, because it looks awesome. So I think I will be playing that one. Yeah, I'm a huge Souls-like or Soulsborne fan, and some Souls-like. I haven't played a ton of other Souls-like games. My favorite is Bloodborne. From Software's games. And then I think it's hard to decide, but I think Elden Ring, especially after playing the DLC for Elden Ring, I think that's probably my second favorite, followed by Dark Souls 3 probably. The only one I haven't played out of their set of games is I haven't played Dark Souls 2. Brittany, people won't mind as much because so far it looks you guys don't ghost us for months or even years. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I know Islander is very big on transparency. I've really liked how Islander is managing the project and how he is interacting with the community and like building the community. So I don't foresee Islander doing that. I think all of us working on the game right now, for a long time we wanted a certain experience from this type of game, and we just haven't gotten it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually achieve that. So I don't think going dark or like hiding progress from people or anything like that is, I don't know how it would benefit us. I think especially being a small development group, I think the more transparent you can be, the better, because it gets more eyes on your project. And if you have more eyes on your project, you can get more help, basically. Pizza Bloodborne looked insane. Such a shame that we never got another one. I agree, yeah. Have you played any Elden Ring or Night Rain, Pizza? Have you tried Elden Ring? I'm playing through I think it's called the Forsaken Hollows or whatever. I think that's the name of their DLC now. But I'm playing through that with a couple buddies of mine. It's been pretty cool, but very, very hard. But I like the characters that they've added. Okay, so I believe I've stitched this wing membrane on here pretty well. So it's all one piece now. I'm pretty sure. Let me add a subdiv modifier on this and see how it looks. I think I might have missed a couple down here. Let's see. No, that's stitched together. All this is stitched. I think it's good. Why doesn't it? It looks strange in the subdivision surface, though. Like, it's not as smooth as I thought it would be. Especially down here, it's very harsh. I wonder why. I think probably it's because the loops are very close together in here, and it's making the transition very tight. But we'll take care of that later. Wasn't super big fan of Night Rain, sadly. True, I can see that. It is very different. Very different. How can you move your perspective? You mean like move the camera around? I can merge by distance. We can try that. Mesh. Where is it? Merge by distance. Yeah, I think I've got all of it. For some reason, it just looks like those areas are like sharp. Like they're creased or something. I don't know why. I used to cosplay as Guts in Elden Ring and protect randoms against invaders. Yeah, I didn't get invaded too much when I was playing Elden Ring. You know what, Sharky? It might be that the normals are facing the wrong way, maybe. Let me check. I think that might have been it. Yeah. Because now it feels a little bit more smooth than there. When you do the solidify modifier, sometimes it like doesn't understand what's outside and what's inside. So that might have been it. Because I fixed that area there, all this area here. This looks good now. Okay. So we have this. Now we need the little membranes between the legs. This one. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring lately. I was playing Arc Raiders for a while. But the DLC or the update for Monster Hunter comes out on Monday for Gogmazios, and that looks really exciting. I'm looking forward to that, so I'll probably be playing that a lot. That's a good thing. It's close to Christmas break too, so I don't have to feel guilty about playing. Did I play Sekiro? If you like Elden Ring, it adds a similar feel to Elden Ring, but much more fluid movement system due to being single player only. Oh, no, I did not play Sekiro. That's one that I missed. That's another one that I missed. So Sekiro and Dark Souls 2 are the two that I haven't played. I don't know. Some people don't consider Sekiro a Souls-like, though. Sharky, by the way, they're planning to add LODs around February to Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, I know people are not happy with the way Monster Hunter Wilds released. I think I don't know how much of it is like I feel like Capcom was pressured to do that. Cuz when they did Monster Hunter World, the PC and console releases were staggered. So I think it gave them a lot of time to make sure that the PC release was good before they actually launched it, right? I think having the PC and the console releases together on Monster Hunter Wilds actually was not a good idea. I think they probably should have just kept the staggered release schedule. Because I think it did their reputation more damage than it. Like, everyone's excited to play things at the same time, but if it's at the cost of performance, I think people would rather just wait. I think that it might have been a hard lesson to learn for them, but I think they kind of understand. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the improvements in performance. My computer did. I mean, it performed okay. It wasn't like horrible. It did crash every now and then. But right now it runs fine, mostly. That's not the right one. Did I? Oh no. I merged the membrane onto the wrong model. This is one of the older ones that I didn't, I should hide that so I don't select it again. But yeah, it is crazy that they, the state that they allowed it to be launched in, but I'm happy that they're addressing stuff. I think once those issues are addressed, people will be able to appreciate the game and all the gameplay that it has, and I think their opinions of it will improve. Because I think it is a good game. I will say Sekiro is harder than Souls games I've played. Oh, I can definitely see that. Yeah, because it's parry based, right? Like, you have to parry to like open up the enemies to deal damage. Parrying is like one of the hardest things to do, and I think it is the hardest thing to do in any Souls game. I don't do it well. I'm not a parry god in Souls games. I roll around and I just dodge. Demiro, I wish someone would teach me sculpting / modeling. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a ton of tutorials online. There's a lot of Discords that are dedicated to teaching people how to sculpt. I think there's a ton of resources. So I would just find one that works for you and maybe just settle into it and like see how it goes, you know? I'm going to Thamira, I'm going to do a basic armature for the Tropeo, but I'm not going to do the real armature. That will be the animators, because they know how to do that way better than I do. I spoke too fast, Thamiro? What did I say too fast? What would you like me to explain? With the bones? Like the armature stuff? I mean, I don't have any armature stuff in here right now. What I was saying is I'm not going to be doing the like skeleton for the Tropeo. That's going to be handed off to somebody else. I mean, what I do is like very basic. I don't do any super advanced stuff. So we have the membranes here. It's nearly done. What else do I need to do? I wasn't here when the Echoes of Extinction team started, so I'm not sure. I would consider this a small team, like regardless anyway. There's only like 10 of us that are like active, like super active. I think there's like 30 of us total, but only 10 of us do like very consistent work, I would say. I don't know what the word would be. I think once we like get going like further, like probably when the crowdfunding stuff happens, more people will be available more often. Sharky. That's not what I meant. One thing you have to keep in mind is that, like, this isn't anyone's full-time job, right? So, like, a lot of us are doing stuff after hours or like on weekends, or like finding time to dedicate to the game, and that stuff's really hard. So not everyone can be as active all the time as everyone else is, you know? So that's an important consideration. That's also why a lot of indie games take a while to develop, is because of that sort of thing. You got to be patient with your team. Can I tell you how I'm mirroring every edit? Yeah, sure. So it's called a mirror modifier. It's over here on the right side. So like if I take it off, you can see that I'm only making half of the model. But if I come to the mirror modifier, so modifiers tab, add mirror modifier, go to generate mirror right here. You'll see that it flips everything. And then you'll want to enable clipping so that the center line sticks to itself. And there you go. You can do that to anything, like any mesh. As long as the origin is aligned correctly, it'll mirror across. It's not an add-on, it's a modifier. So you don't have to add anything to Blender, you just find it here in the modifiers tab. Okay, I gotta get... I think the last thing is to get all the webbing between the little toesies. So it's a matter of deciding how much webbing to give him, I suppose. The Miro, your Blender also might not be set up the way mine is, like as far as all the, because my layout isn't default, so just keep that in mind. It should be in the, I think this is the properties. Yeah, it's in the properties tab. The Miro, I'm using a sphere for the eye. It's just it's a UV sphere that I'm using. Brittany, are you the main or only modeler? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm a modeler, concept artist slash 3D modeler, I would say. Islander is the project lead. Still wondering what combo it is to make one plane into a body. It's the solidify. I think that's what you're asking about. So if I add a plane here, see how it's flat? If I go to a modifier and I go to solidify, it adds thickness to the plane, and you can make it as thick as you want, basically. And then once it's the thickness you want it, you just apply, and it turns it into a mesh. So that's also a modifier, just like the mirror modifier was. So I'm adding some resolution in here. I wonder what my... this is still a pretty cheap mesh. It's only 6,000 faces, so it's very small. So we can add more resolution, I think. Oh, that's more complicated, the Miro. It's like, I would just watch the stream again and just see if you can take notes on it. But it's basically like, all I'm doing is I'm extruding stuff kind of over and over again to match the body shapes. So it's really just the E key to extrude and then shaping everything to the contour, and then I just repeat it over and over again to get all the different body parts. There is more to it than just that. It's kind of hard to explain. But like I said, watch that again, and if you want to, there's you can watch me do it on the Purosaurus. When I retopologize the Purosaurus, I do a similar method, so you can see it again. So there should be 2 examples for you. I think I need to add more resolution into the wing here. What I'm trying to do, what I'm thinking about now is like, I'm thinking about how I need to sculpt. So when I come in to sculpt on this mesh, I want the mesh to be very evenly distributed. And I want the quads to be very square as possible. Because if they're very long, like you see how these polys are very long here, they're rectangular, not square, it's going to cause issues when I'm sculpting. So the balancing act here is I want enough resolution that I can sculpt all the details I need, but I don't want so much that it makes the mesh heavy. Because I don't want the mesh to be like a crazy number of polygons, you know. That is not optimized for the game. So that's the tough balance to strike when working on this sort of thing. So that gave me a little bit better resolution on the wings. The mirror in my voice is really relaxing. Well, that's good to hear. I always like hear my recordings back, and I like don't like the way I sound at all. But thank you. So I need to reflect the way that I did this cut here. I need to do that on the bottom too. So I'm just looking at where exactly that lines up. I can look through the mesh here. That's probably easier. Did y'all watch the Game Awards yesterday? I did not catch much of it. Was there anything interesting? Anything I should look up? I'll probably try to catch up with that after stream, actually. See what went on. Okay, so we got that. I didn't, but I saw Total War 40K got announced, and I turned into a screaming child. Total War. Okay, I gotcha. That's gonna be really sick. I mean, I wanted to play some of the Total War games, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. You know, I really like. I was watching a guy. He had like the reptile men armies. I can't remember what they're called. But he was fighting some sort of elven army or something. But the battles in there are really cool. So if they're doing 40K stuff, that's gonna be awesome. Because I'm a big Tyranid fan. Kivarstra, interesting lines on the wingtip. It's almost like a blade's edge. Oh yeah, this here. It'll I gotta like iron it out. It'll get more rounded. Oh, all 3 games are on sale right now. You're tempting me. I'm gonna have too many games to play. There are aspects of both of those that I think are really cool. I think I would enjoy the Warhammer, like the fantasy aspects, but then I also like the 40K stuff too. The more sci-fi. Okay, I just want to finish up just a few more things here, and then I'll call it a day. My doggo is restless again, so it's probably a good time to wrap it up. So last thing that I need to do is I don't want that. I need to do the webbing on the feet here. And once we're done with that, I probably will have like a few tweaks to the topology just to give like certain areas more resolution here and there. But once we're done with that, I'm pretty much good to go into ZBrush. This should be plenty to work from, and we can start detailing everything. So this is where he's gotten to today. So good amount of progress. I feel like he feels nice and clean and should sculpt up pretty well. You can play as demons, greenskins, elves, lizardmen, tons of dinosaurs. That sounds sick. For what the splines for the animation? My dog does want attention. I'm not sure what you mean by the splines. I don't have any splines active in here. The lines, if you're talking about the lines here, those are just so I can see the topology and how it's flowing. But there are no splines in here right now. Those are curves, and I don't really use curves when I'm making a mesh. Kivarsha. I wish you luck on your studies. I would love to study Blender animation, so maybe once I get a chance to look into that, I'll ask you for some advice on where I can start. Because that's an area I'm interested in learning as well. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap up the stream, everyone. Thank you all for being here with me today. Once again, we'll pick back up on Wednesday from here, and we'll see how far we get then. I think I should be able to get into ZBrush on Wednesday. I'm excited for that. So we'll start detailing this guy up soon. And yeah, getting him finished up. It's getting closer and closer. All right, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.